Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, friends, happy United Nations Day. Clap for the United Nations, huh? It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the 2017 United Nations Day concert, both those here in person and others watching from far away. Secretary General Antonio Guterres sends his regrets that he could not be here to celebrate with us. He has spent UN Day in the Central African Republic, meeting with the peacekeepers serving on the front lines and with the people they are trying to help. I am happy to say this evening that we do have with us the Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed and the President of the 72nd session of the General Assembly, His Excellency Miroslav Lajčák. Tonight's event is graciously sponsored by the Permanent Mission of the Slovak Republic to the UN. Performing tonight is the outstanding Slovak national folklore ballet, Lucnica, under the theme, Potential in Diversity. The theme is a timely reminder that everyone benefits from culturally rich and varied societies. Diversity enhances mutual understanding and leads to greater peace and prosperity. I encourage you all to use your social media platforms to promote dignity and respect for everyone, using the hashtags @UNDay and #PotentialInDiversity. Please join me now in welcoming His Excellency Mr. Michal Mlinar, the permanent representative of the Slovak Republic to the United Nations.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues and friends, happy United Nations Day to you all. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. Dobrý večer. I'm a proud and happy ambassador of my country this evening as I present to you the Slovak national folklore ballet Lucnica, which embodies lots of great emotions for several generations of Slovaks in Slovakia and abroad. Lucnica very well represents the potential in diversity through showcasing Slovakia's most beautiful cultural traditions in an attractive and very dynamic way. Its art evokes the most positive feelings and unites people on the platform of understanding, togetherness, and solidarity. It has been fulfilling its noble mission on all continents already for almost 70 years. The folklore ensemble Lucnica, led by its Director General Marian Turner, my colleagues at the Ministry of Foreign and European Affairs of the Slovak Republic, and the Permanent Mission of Slovakia to the United Nations, and all other supporters and friends. Very soon, on the 19th of January 2018, Slovakia will proudly celebrate the 25th anniversary of its United Nations membership as an independent country, while at the same time acknowledging the legacy of Czechoslovakia, which was among the founding United Nations member states in 1945. In fact, next year, together with our Czech brothers, we will also celebrate the 100th anniversary of the establishment of democratic Czechoslovakia. Over those 25 years, we have been literally dreaming about bringing this very special Slovak national folklore ballet Lucnica, a true cultural crown jewel of Slovakia, to this very hall. And we are happy to bring it for representatives of all 193 United Nations member states to see and experience its pure values and virtues, which cannot fit better for a United Nations Day performance. Utmost professionalism, endless youthful energy, and true dedication. Wow, this dream has really come true today. I hope you will enjoy the concert as much as we do, and I wish you a great evening. Thank you.
Madam Deputy Secretary General, it is now my honor to give you the floor.
Happy birthday, UN. It is my great pleasure and honor to be here with on tradition of this special day in place of the Secretary General, who, as you heard Alison Smell say, he could not be with us in person, but he certainly is in spirit in the Central African Republic. So on behalf of the Secretary General and the whole UN family, I'd like to thank the permanent mission of the Slovak Republic for sponsoring this year's UN Day concert and for bringing the wonderful Slovak National Folklore Ballet to perform here today. We've come a long way in the 72 years since the birth of the United Nations. The last 2 years alone have signaled clear progress for global cooperation. In 2015, in this very room, the international community came together to agree an ambitious plan to eradicate poverty, address climate change, and build peaceful, inclusive societies by 2030. Less than a year after the adoption of the Sustainable Development Goals, world leaders again joined forces in this General Assembly Hall to sign the Paris Agreement in April 2016. Today is a time to take stock of how far we've come as an organization to re-energize and face the work ahead with renewed vigor. This year, we are celebrating UN Day with a concert under the theme of the potential in diversity. The Secretary General and I share the conviction that diversity among peoples enrich societies and benefit economies. Diverse communities and workplaces are much more productive and more creative, and most importantly, more compassionate. Before I take my seat, I would like to ask everyone to really enjoy tonight's concert, remembering what brings us together as one human family. And I would like to thank everyone in the room for being here, and those around the world watching online for tuning in. Many thanks again to the Permanent Mission of Slovakia, as well as the musicians and the beautiful dancers from the Lucnica National Folklore Ballet. Please enjoy the performance. I thank you.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the President of the 72nd session of the General Assembly, His Excellency Mr. Miroslav Lajčák. Please enjoy this wonderful evening.
Good evening, dobrý večer, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the celebration of the United Nations Day. And I want to thank the Permanent Mission of Slovakia for hosting us this evening. And I also want to thank the Deputy Secretary General Mohammed, Under Secretary General Smail, and the Ambassador Mlinar for their inspiring words. Dear friends, as we all know, the United Nations turns 72 today. And tonight's celebration gives us an opportunity to look at how far this organization has come. The United Nations has achieved a lot in nearly 3/4 of a century. UN treaties, conventions, and other instruments have formed the bedrock of our international legal system. People all over the world now know that they are entitled to fundamental rights as human beings, and they have been supported in advocating for those rights to be upheld and protected. The United Nations has often been the first to reach people in dire need of humanitarian assistance. It has led parties from the front lines of conflict to the negotiating table. And it has supported countries to build peace from the ground on. No, we haven't just seen achievements in the past 72 years, but we must learn from both achievements and challenges. We must use both to drive us forward and to ensure that we have even stronger United Nations on this day 72 years from now. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's event offers an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to the future of the United Nations. And I found the theme of potential in diversity particularly appropriate for this setting. The United Nations General Assembly Hall has been home to much diversity. It is used to convene 193 member states, which represent people of different backgrounds, ethnicities, and beliefs from across the world. It has also been witness to strong diversity of positions. But we should not shy away from this. Diversity is the fuel of multilateralism. If we are to harness the potential of diversity, however, we need to fully embrace it. This means we need to engage with each other, not just in theory, but in practice. We need dialogue, not just a succession of monologues. As we move forward, we will hear diverse and even opposing views, particularly in this hall. However, this should not lead us to dismiss compromise as an impossibility. If we do that, we will all end up sticking even more rigidly to our own positions, and our diversity will turn into adversary. Instead, we must seek to influence, to learn, to engage in real exchanges. We must remember that although diversity makes our work at the United Nations more challenging, it also makes our outcomes, agreements, and achievements stronger. Which is why I'm so grateful to Slovakia for tonight reminding us of the potential in diversity. This is a message we must keep in mind as we celebrate the United Nations Day. It is a message I hope we see more represented here in this great hall. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, this brings me finally to introduce our very special guest tonight, the Lucnica Folklore Ballet. This group is inspired by Slovakia's rich traditions. It also draws from modern and diverse influences. Through the universality of music, it captures the attention of us all. Thank you very much and enjoy the evening.
Vieme, že len priadme jedna napred druhej. Spriadajme myšlienky do tej nitky Spriadajme myšlienky do tej nitky Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Pieseň, všetko sa premení. Aj tá rozmarína na bielo sa mení. Aj tá rozmarína na bielo sa mení. Spievajme, dievčatá, všetky jednu pieseň. A zdaj sa vydáme všetky jednu jeseň. A zdaj sa vydáme všetky jednu jeseň. Na, 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 na. 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 Červenko jablčko po počku mám. Červenko jablčko po počku mám. Toho rada vidím, toho rada vidím. Tomu ho dám, tomu ho dám. Toho rada vidím, toho rada vidím. Tomu ho dám, tomu ho dám.